everyone. Thank you for spending time today to watch our video presentation. I want to be able to talk about how you can use inbound marketing to help your business recover after COVID-19. Now, this is the first video among many resources my agency is going to be rolling out these next few weeks under our Bounce Back Blueprint 2020 campaign. What exactly is this Bounce Back Blueprint? It's an easy to follow framework to help you navigate through all of these uncertain times. It follows the inbound marketing methodology, something that I'm going to be discussing in a bit. But simply put, it's a set of strategies, guides, and cheat sheets to help you rebuild your marketing efforts after COVID-19 and once we face the new normal. Now, to be really honest, I'm using this for Huskee. This is actually the blueprint that we're using to navigate the rest of our year. But somewhere along our planning, we thought it would be really helpful to share this with our clients, our prospects, and anyone else who might want to be able to, kind of rebuild their marketing this 2020. Who is it for? We had clients servicing B2B businesses in mind. Obviously, because we ourselves are a client servicing B2B business. But really, this is good for just about any marketer. Some of the learnings here and some of the guides that we are going to be rolling out, it works well for just about any industry, right? So whether you're in hospitality, in food, in retail, in healthcare, it doesn't really matter. Right? For as long as you're fulfilling some sort of marketing and sales role, we really think that this blueprint is going to be able to help you out for the new normal. So what's the context that we're working with? The goals that my company set at the start of the year doesn't seem to be relevant to us anymore, right? Like many of you, we had such big aspirations this year. We really wanted to scale the business, hire more people, expand our service offerings. But it only took a few weeks of this pandemic to make us realize that, okay, anything that we had set at the start of the year may no longer be applicable. We need to be able to reinvent and focus on new goals for the rest of the year. And if you read the news and you read the analysis of all of these experts and all of these big accounting companies, right? A lot of them are predicting that this is really going to suck the next 8 to 10 months for almost every business. Right? And they even predict that some businesses are not going to be able to recover this year. Right? They pinpoint some businesses are actually going to start recovering in 2021 or in 2022. Right? So it's going to suck, right? It's not like after restrictions have eased, we go back and we pick up where we left off. It's not going to be like that. We're going to be facing a new reality. We're going to have new sets of challenges with all of these restrictions. And it's really just going to suck. Now, after I got angry and I got depressed on the situation, like many of you, I felt all of these negative feelings about these challenges. But after that, I got over myself and I saw a chance really to reinvent my business. Right now that things were at a pause, I actually had an opportunity to redo some of the things that I felt like we did wrong this year, right? Or better yet, right, look at the road ahead and see what we could do differently to put ourselves in a position to achieve more success in the long run, right? So I saw the chance to reinvent my business, and I think you should too, right? I think being able to look at the positives that are brought about by the situation is all that we can really do at this point. So now is really not the time for panic, right? We can't do anything about the pandemic. We can't do anything about our situation, right? All we can do is adapt, right? To focus our energies into something positive. I'm a firm believer that if bad things were to happen to me, right, I always try to find the good in the situation, right? I try to make good out of something bad. And again, after I went through the motions and after I got over myself, right, I looked to how I can improve my agency. I look to how I can improve the positions of my clients, and I'm happy to share with you exactly how we're going to be doing that. And if you work on it, if you really put your energies into it, you can really make this next quarter of 2020 the foundations of an amazing marketing pivot for you and your business. So let's get started, right? Let's talk about inbound marketing. What is inbound marketing exactly? Whenever I bring this up in a client pitch or when I talk to a prospect about it, I get a look like this, right? It's a little confusing, it's another jargon, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand, but you're going to realize in the next few slides that it's really, really simple, right? It's something that you experience every single day, and we just happen to coin that term as inbound marketing, in our industry. So, inbound marketing is a business methodology that attracts customers by creating valuable content made just for them. The idea is to make your marketing and sales as personalized as possible. It's about creating opportunities for your customers, not for yourself. Now, traditionally, we followed an outbound marketing approach, and it looked something like this, right? Where we would send out cold emails, we would hand out flyers, we would create content that our customers may not necessarily like. We sell things to them that they don't need, and my favorite, we send out spammy LinkedIn messages every single day, just trying to get people to buy from us. And our pitch sounds a little bit like this. It sounds like, hey, look, I'm a complete stranger. I'm selling this product that I'm not so sure you need, but I'll sell it to you anyway. Oh, and by the way, please trust me with your money and refer me to your loved ones too. Now, if I actually gave you this spiel, right? If I actually gave you this sales pitch, you'd probably look at me like this, right? And walk away. And I don't blame you, right? It's a weird way to approach someone. And think about it, right? When was the last time you were absolutely excited to refer that social media salesman to your family or friends, right? That person who messages you out of nowhere, asking you if you want to buy an apartment or if you want to buy an insurance product or if you want to look at this business opportunity. We never really like getting those messages in the first place, right? And we're definitely not excited to share this opportunity, whatever it may be, with our family or our friends, right? It sounds completely ridiculous, but we're all guilty of that. Yes, all of us, even me, right? At some point, we've all done some sort of outbound marketing, right? We've all done some sort of cold selling to other prospects, other people, and it just didn't work, right? And that's because it lacked empathy, it lacked understanding, it lacked genuine effort to really know who our customers are. Now, inbound marketing is about putting empathy first. It's about delivering opportunities that can have a positive impact on your customers. You actually take some time to learn about your customers and create marketing and sales campaigns with those insights in mind. So instead of this outbound, salesy, spammy LinkedIn messagey approach, inbound marketing looks something like this. You conduct discovery calls to learn about the problems of your prospects, right? You create educational content around problems that they are experiencing. You produce inspiring videos that talk about problems, that talk about solutions. You send out surveys and feedback forms whenever an engagement is done. And you tailor your quotations based on the actual situation of your customer, right? Now, instead of that salesy pitch that I had shared earlier, an inbound sales pitch or marketing pitch sounds a little bit something like this. Hey, I'm writing about this problem that people like you might be experiencing. Is there anything I can do to shed some light on it for you? How can I be of service to you at the moment? Right? So you reverse the situation and you start off a conversation trying to be helpful first versus selling right off the bat. I like to look at marketers and sales managers as doctors. right? As doctors, we diagnose and learn about the situation first before we suggest any remedies or medicine that people should take. And the reality is, marketers and salespeople don't follow this, right? We tend to come up with templated responses and give half-hearted answers to what is usually a very personal and intricate problem for our customers. And when we learn to approach the situation with an inbound marketing perspective, we learn that it's important to diagnose and learn first, right? Before we sell anything to our prospects. So, given this, why must you care about inbound marketing? It's really simple, right? Let's look at the reality that the average customer faces. We really live in a world now where our customers are more empowered than ever before, right? And this is primarily driven by all of these digital channels. The digital world has given our customers hundreds of options for products and services, right? So if I'm looking for a restaurant, for example, a quick Google search will yield me hundreds of options to look at, right? If I'm looking for financial products, I'll have a dozen at my disposal. The digital world has given customers choice, right? Has given options, and that makes it a little difficult for businesses to navigate 2020 and beyond. We're also living in a situation where business is no longer just a numbers game, right? It's a relationship game too. You have all of these talks about how brands should be more human, how brands should learn how to connect with other people, and there's a reason for that. We don't choose things at random, right? We choose the product or service that we feel really, really good about, right? We choose brands that we can trust. Now, what I want you to kind of consider is among all of the options out there, how can potential customers trust you the most? Now, I know what you're thinking. Business is already so hard. And here's Miggy talking about all of these philosophies that just make everything more complicated for me, right? It's already hard as it is. But I'm about to show you how inbound marketing actually benefits you, right? How it can actually generate more business opportunities for you post COVID and beyond. Now, when I talk to a prospective client, I like talking about my top three favorite marketing sources, right? What platforms or what avenues do I find most effective? Number one is actually a great experience. You really can't put money on that, right? If you like the service that you experience in the restaurant, right? If you enjoy working with this specific supplier, nothing can replace that. I can come up with the wittiest Facebook ad or the wittiest copy in the world, but nothing can replace a great experience. So first and foremost, a great product, a great service, a great experience is the ultimate marketing tool. Now, second to that is actually a referral from a happy customer. If you audit your business and if you are able to look at it from a big picture point of view, you're going to realize that a lot of your business is actually coming from referrals, right? Customers that have experienced your product or your service and happily shared with other people the good experience that they had working with you. So that's the second most effective marketing source for me. Only after that does digital marketing come in. Okay, so as a digital marketing agency, right? This is something that I do on a daily basis. I tell you with the utmost certainty that what I'm doing, my job, is only just the third most effective way to market a product. If you don't have a great customer experience, if customers are not willing to refer your product or your service to other people, anything that I do as a digital marketing agency is almost useless, right? I like to say that digital marketing only shines a light on the business as it is, right? Yeah, okay, I can probably get some people to try it. I can get people to go to your store. But if the experience is not good enough, you're not building sustainable revenue for your company, right? So first and foremost, a great experience. Second, a great referral from a happy customer. And third, digital marketing. Now, it makes a little bit more sense where inbound marketing comes into the picture, because now you're focusing on how you can create a great experience from the very beginning. So, knowing what you know now about a great experience and how powerful referrals are for your business, inbound marketing challenges you to rethink just how important every touch point is with your customer. So, before, we used to look at customers through the lens of a marketing funnel or a marketing and sales funnel, and it looks something like this, right? We would market to them, they would touch base with our sales representatives, and then we would service them after. And then after that whole cycle is done, we no longer think of customers, right? Because they end up at the bottom part of our funnel. And like we mentioned again, that shouldn't be the case anymore, right? Customers have to be at the center of your efforts. And how inbound marketing asks you to look at customers is no longer through a marketing and sales funnel, but rather a flywheel, right? Where customers are at the heart of your business. Now, instead of customers going through your marketing, sales, and your service and never to be seen again, customers are put at the center where they power the flywheel, and they are the engine that allows you to continue servicing more and more prospects. So again, with the funnel, you look at customers as an afterthought, right? I've already sold to you, I've serviced you, and we're done, right? I don't need to talk to you anymore. What inbound marketing does is that it challenges you to look at your customers in the context of a flywheel, where customers are at the center and they really supercharge your business by acting as the engine that allows you to create more opportunities for yourself and for other customers. And the equation is really simple, right? It's happy customers plus your amazing product equals a profitable business. And inbound marketing really challenges you to define, just how happy you're making your customers from the very first touch point to the last touch point. And it's really, really simple, right? When the customer wins, you win too. A happy customer will refer their friends, will refer their family and their loved ones to your business, allowing you to service more prospects and, of course, generate more income for yourself and your business. And, of course, we all love to win, right? Who hates to lose? Inbound marketing allows you to win more and probably win at levels that you never thought were possible. All right, so hopefully at this point I kind of got you, right? And now we can talk about how inbound marketing is actually applied to a business, right? So this is how it works. It's really simple. It's four steps. The first step rather, is the attract stage. Here, your objective is to turn complete strangers to visitors. This could be visitors to your website or to your offline store, right, or your physical store. Now, how you do this is through creating blog articles, right, doing heavy keyword research on what exactly they're looking for on Google, and reaching out to them via social media, right? So this is the attract stage where you talk to strangers and turn them into visitors, right? By talking about problems that they might already have or they're beginning to become aware of, and showing them that you're really, really bent on helping them out. So after this step, they move on to the convert stage, right? Where visitors on your website or in your store, they turn into prospects or they turn into leads. And how you convert them into prospects or leads is through, for example, website forms, right? Or questionnaires where you look at whether or not the prospect is a fit to begin with, right? If there's someone that you can service, right? It's not just saying yes to every opportunity. It's also looking at the fit with your business. You also have calls to action or CTAs on your website where you prompt them to take significant action. And of course, highly personalized landing pages also where you continue educating them about the problem that you first spoke of in the previous step. Next, you turn these leads into actual customers, and this is the close stage. And you're able to do this, of course, through a high-powered CRM, right? So that's customer relationship management tools, if you're not familiar on what that is. You have email sequences that are automated and that are scalable, right? Email is still really powerful, despite what some people might think. And having, of course, the necessary workflows to make sure that you don't miss out on prospects. Now, I can't, really share how frustrating it is. Or sorry, I can't begin to describe how frustrating it is to miss out on opportunity just because you don't have the right system. This is something that I made a lot of mistakes on. This is something that I struggled with at the beginning of my business, and now we've really tried to systematize the way that we turn our leads into customers. And lastly, they move on to the delight stage, where you turn customers into those promoters that send you more business opportunities. And you do this by means of creating surveys, right? By creating content that's just for them, right? Content created in the sense where you know that these readers are already your customers. And social listening tools also, where you kind of figure out what people have to say about you online and address any concerns that they may have. Right? So the whole journey kind of looks like this again. Right? So you have the attract stage, the convert, the close, and then the delight stage. Now, if this sounds really familiar, well, it should, because these are things that your functions or your team functions should already be doing, right? The attract and convert stage, it's usually the marketing team's job to do that. The close stage, you turn it over to sales, and they end up having to fulfill this process. And then the delight stage, it's turned over to whoever does customer service work or whoever fulfills the project, right? So these are things that are already supposed to be in your business. Okay, we're not really changing what we're marketing. We're not changing your products. We're not changing your services. We're only changing how we do this marketing, how we do these sales, and how we do these services. Okay. More often than not, businesses lack just the proper infrastructure, right? The proper framework to be able to deliver great experiences. And what inbound marketing does is that it helps you systematize the way that you create valuable opportunities with your customers. So the key principles here really are personalized and systematic, right? You have systems that are tailored and highly personal to the people that you're speaking with. Because again, our context is it's all about relationships, right? It's all about creating opportunities, and it's all about positioning yourself as the expert for your clients. Inbound marketing, at the end of the day, is really a challenge for yourself to scale your empathy, to scale your business this way. If this sounds amazing, if this is the first time that you're hearing about these concepts, don't worry. You're not left out just yet. There's a lot of time to be able to really work on your inbound marketing and put yourself in a position to succeed. Okay, so the big question, right? But Miggy, how is this relevant in the new normal? Okay, I get tons of these kinds of questions, right? I can't make a profit. How will I pay my rent? I need to hit quota, right? I need more sales now, and I really can't afford to be doing all of these, fluffy, high-level stuff. I get you, right? I know that money is important. I know that cash flow is important. This is something that I'm also going through as a business owner. Yes, cash is king right now, especially during this pandemic, right? But luckily for you, being helpful, being empathetic is absolutely free, right? There are so many innovative ways for you to practice inbound, even during this pandemic, right? You're going to have to open up your horizons and look at the opportunities, right? So I also have those tendencies, right, where I have this defeatist kind of mindset where I think that, oh, okay, it can't be done, or it's too hard, or I don't have the resources for it, right? If there's one thing that I've learned, being my own boss for the last few years, it's that you can really find a way to do something if you really want to do it, right? And during this crisis, right? You're really going to have to force yourself to be creative and look for ways to practice inbound during this very crazy set of next few months for all of us. Don't also fall into the trap of short-term thinking. Remember what we said earlier in the presentation, that this is really going to suck for a while. We're not talking a couple of weeks, right? We're talking months. Months where businesses are going to struggle, right? A couple of more businesses are going to shut down. This is going to suck for a long time. And if you're playing the short-term game, you're going to see short-term gains. So don't fall into that trap, right? Look at the longer term. Look at how you can evolve during these next few months, and look at how you can still be relevant even in 6 to 8 months from now. Your business operations today should have to stand on sturdier ground. And putting your customer first is essential now more than ever during a time where everyone is panicking, everyone is kind of worried about their future, and many other people aren't able to afford the decisions that they want to be able to make. So resist the urge to be selfish during this time. I think that's the worst thing that you could do for yourself. And then remember this, that the effect of your empathy during this crisis will resonate for months to come, right? You're going to have to play the long-term game here, right? You're going to have to sacrifice just a little bit more in the short term and try to really implement this inbound methodology, this inbound philosophy in your business, and look at the bigger picture, right? That again, almost everyone is going to be struggling these next few months, right? Almost no one's an exception. And during a time where it's just so easy to think of yourself, right? To be selfish, now more than ever it's really important to be empathetic, right? And to look at your customers and to see how you can service them better. So really think about it, right? Now is a good time to zig while other people zag, right? While other business owners are looking to cut costs, right? Are looking for ways to kind of take advantage of the situation, right? You have a set of opportunities that you can take that will allow you to position yourself as experts, right? That will allow you to show your empathy and allow you to win in the long run, right? Especially during a time where we really know it's going to be very difficult for everyone. So it's all going to be okay, right? It sounds a little confusing, but if you work on it, right? If you start on some of these principles now and looking at your business operations and seeing how you can implement these inbound philosophies or these inbound principles, you're going to be much better off in a few months than other people who choose to be selfish during this time. Okay, so if you're still with me, right? If I haven't lost you yet, and if you're still really engaged and really interested to learn how to implement inbound marketing, right, I'm gonna talk to you about what you need to start, right? Especially for your marketing campaigns. Now, a good inbound marketing process includes really two things, in my opinion, just two core things. The first one is a system for content creation, right? It's a system where you try to define important topics for your customers, right? You look at the keywords that they're searching for on Google, that they're using on their comments and their other social media interactions, right? And turn these topics and keywords into a persona that you can use for your marketing campaigns and create lead magnets, right? Or high value content offers that will allow you to position yourself as an expert and show them the information that they need to solve problems that they may have. And after this, you have to build the second system, which is your system for content distribution. Now, there are so many ways to distribute your content, but in the context of inbound marketing, you're only really looking at four means that all have to work simultaneously. That's your blogging, that's your social media presence, whether that be on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. That's your pay-per-click advertising efforts, and of course your email marketing campaign. Now, I often get asked, Miggy, Can I live with just one of these or just two of these? Like, do I really need all four? Well, theoretically, you can really live off just one of these channels, right? You can just have your blog, for example, and just have that as a distribution channel. But inbound marketing works best when you have all four working simultaneously. Remember, your customers are everywhere, right? They're searching on blogs, they're on social media, they're looking at ads, or they're clicking ads, and they're opening emails. And you want to be where they're at, and covering all of these four channels, right? Your blog, your social media, your pay per click, and your email marketing will allow you the best chance at reaching your prospects. Now, for the next few months, what I would recommend for you to do is lay out your next quarter using the following framework, right? The first month, we can call it the start month. Second month, we'll call it scale, and third month we'll call it sustain, right? So very easy to follow: start, scale, sustain. So you're looking at a 3-month window to implement inbound marketing strategies for you and your business. Because again, our context is, right, we want to be able to work on things on the short term to be able to give us a chance at winning and succeeding in the long term. Right, so let's start off with month one. What are some of the key activities that I hope that you guys can do? The first month will include this. Number one, focus on redefining your customer personas. Okay, so this is a really fun exercise. I enjoy doing this for prospects and clients that we have. And I think more than ever, you really need to be able to redefine what your personas are, if or who your personas are, if you already don't have one. Um, Priorities and pain points have really changed, for the rest of the year, right? Customers may no longer be as interested as they were before, and being able to pinpoint just exactly what they're feeling about your product, I think, is really, really important. Second, I really recommend that you go on and finally start that blog. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And I made this mistake also for the first about 2 years, about 2 years of my business. Right? I It's not like I was against making a blog, but I always put it aside. Right? I always said that, oh, I'll have a chance to do that, but I never did. I never got around it. So I personally revamped the blog of our website, so you could check that out. And I really just stuck with it. I accepted that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look the best just now. All that matters is that I'm starting, right? So for you, I'd recommend the same thing. Spend the next few weeks just revamping that blog and writing, right, for your customers. And lastly, for month one, I would also look at some email marketing tools too. Now, I'll share some resources with you in the next few weeks, but you're going to have to realize that email marketing is really, really powerful, especially now where people are working from home and people are kind of stuck to their screens. So it would really benefit you to look at some automated marketing tools to help you send out more emails to prospects and to your current customers. Second step is to scale, right? So what you want to be able to do in month two is scale your content offerings. So what I mean by this is that you start creating blog posts, you start creating social media content, right? You do something like what I'm doing right now, which is just really recording myself give a presentation. You scale this effort and you challenge yourself to post frequently, right? I'm not a fan of posting every day. I don't think you have to, especially at the start. You can kind of start off slowly. But the important thing is just to start scaling, right? Just to find some consistency with the amount of content that you're creating. Now, here's my suggested formula. It's really easy to follow, right? So you write a blog post, right? So, for example, you write about what customers can expect from your industry during this difficult time. You attach a free offer. Like, for example, it could be a free consultation, a free trial of your service, right? A free hour of your consulting work, right? Anything to that degree, just to give people an incentive to reach out to you, right, and to try out your business, right? Again, you shouldn't be in the mode where you're just trying to sell, right? You're trying to add value, and the way to do that right now is just to give them a taste, right, of what you can do for them, right? So at least for your customers, they don't have to risk so much of their time and their resources, especially during a time where that's really really valuable now. And they get to see if you're a good fit for them or not. Right. So after you attach this free offer, you distribute the message on social media. Right. So personally, I really like Facebook. Facebook is the easiest way to distribute content. But LinkedIn also works really really well too. Right. Especially for some industries. Some people might think that LinkedIn is boring and that nobody ever really goes there, but that's not true, right? So a lot of people are actually on LinkedIn. So I think especially during these next few weeks, you have to take a look at how you can utilize both Facebook and LinkedIn to distribute your content. And lastly, you want to be able to, of course, reach out via email marketing also. Right? So if you've been able to collect a database of your customers and your prospects from the past months, that's great. Now you have another distribution channel for yourself. But if not, now's the time to start collecting those emails and start building that database of prospects for you and your business. And then lastly, it's nice to get in touch again with old prospects, right? People who might have said no to you in the past, right, or who weren't in the right kind of space or headspace to make a decision. It's not so much so reaching out to them is not so much to sell to them, right? It's just really more of learning about where they're at and how you could possibly be of service and understanding what that dynamic might look like. And you'd be surprised just by how many people will really appreciate you reaching out and just checking up on them and learning about their situation. And last, you sustain, right? So you can do this by doubling down on your pay-per-click advertising. When done properly, pay-per-click advertising is a really, really powerful tool for your business. I specialize in that, and I really enjoy it. So I do have a bias for it, but it's great. If you do it properly, it can really multiply the opportunities that you have. Now, for pay-per-click advertising, again, Facebook is great, but Google and YouTube is actually really, really underrated. It's quite surprising for me just how under the radar Google and YouTube is as a platform, especially among my business owner friends and my other marketers. And on month three, also, you should continue looking at building another blog offer social sequence. Right? It really has to be part of your day-to-day operations now. Um, Aim to do at least one every month, right? Just to start off, right? So you had the first one in the second month, and then you try to duplicate that in the third month, and before you know it, you have all of these small mini inbound cycles, right? That help you generate more traffic to your website or to your social media posts, social media pages, and put you in an opportunity or put you in a position rather to service more prospects in the coming months. Again, I really like to stress that you have to take this time to get the foundations right. We're really facing a new environment, and it's really not like things are gonna get back to normal once all of this kind of blows over, right? It's not. We're going to be facing a new set of challenges, and being able to solve these challenges require us to do the foundations right, right? To get it right this time. And this pandemic, just allowed me as a business owner to kind of reassess where I'm at and see, what, I really need to be implementing these things that I talk about, right? It's so easy for me to talk about. It's so easy for me to implement for my clients, but when it comes to myself and my business, right, I always made myself an exception. And now again is not the time for the usual. Now is the time for reinvention, and you have to be able to seriously look at your marketing efforts again and see how you can kind of rebuild the foundations of where it stands. Your 2020 pivot again will have to stand on sturdier ground, right? You have this opportunity to redo some of the things that you didn't do properly before, or better yet, start on the things that you should have started on before, and you're really going to make the most out of it, right? And I truly believe that if you really try, you're going to make the best out of it, and we're all going to get through this together. And so you might be at this stage right now where you're kind of like this monkey where you kind of don't know what you're doing. Okay, Miggy, make a lot of sense. I need to do inbound marketing, but I just don't know how to do it, right? And this is what our bounce back blueprint is for. So I'm going to leave the link on the caption of this video, and there you can pick up the bounce back blueprint that my company and I personally used for our agency, and we're going to be implementing this also for some of our clients. And again, we're really happy to share with you, and hopefully it goes a long way for you and your business. Now you're going to get 6 things in the blueprint. It's a set of files. The first one is our customer persona worksheet. It's a really fun exercise to do. Again, like I said, it's one of my favorite parts of inbound marketing, and just kind of imagining what my customers are like. So we have a really easy to use framework for you to follow. Second would be our Facebook targeting worksheet. So for people who don't know how to target on Facebook, or who have not had a lot of experience reaching the right people on Facebook, I'm very confident that our worksheet for Facebook targeting is going to help you kind of decipher which audiences you should really focus on and which you don't need to mind, for the time being. The third one is a list of my go-to marketing resources, right? So my favorite software, some of my favorite ebooks that I follow, that I read rather, and some of my other go-to resources for insights and knowledge, right? So I'm really happy to share it with you, right? Because it's really benefited me, and I've extended those benefits to my clients, and I'm really confident it's going to help you out also. Fourth is a list of lead magnet ideas. So if you don't know what a good lead magnet looks like, I'm going to give you some of the examples that I really like, right? So these are lead magnets from some of the brands that I personally follow as well, and hopefully it gives you inspiration on what to create for yourself and your business. Fifth would be my favorite thing in this blueprint, the 18 inbound marketing case studies that my team put up a few weeks ago. So it's a really simple ebook filled with case studies from social media posts to lead magnets to email marketing campaigns that all embody the inbound marketing spirit. So I've personally taken a page out of some of these examples, and I'm hopeful that you can find inspiration from them as well. And then lastly, of course, is a copy of this PowerPoint. So if you just want to be able to browse through this again without hearing my voice, be happy to oblige and give you a copy of the PowerPoint in PDF so that you can view it, and if you find value in it, hopefully share it with other people as well. Okay, so some bonus advice for B2B businesses and e-commerce, since that's really where my specialties are at. A good inbound sales process includes the following. So if you're going to reinvent your sales process after you've reinvented your marketing process, this is what it should look like. Again, it should have 2 things. The first one is being able to do contact tracking. Right? So you're able to do this using a CRM system, have some sort of lead scoring or leads prospecting sheet where you're able to decipher whether a prospect is a good fit or not, and an onboarding process. Now, don't worry if you don't have any of those things. It's not your fault, right? You can do something about it. So if you're that kind of business that still uses an Excel sheet and that doesn't have some sort of onboarding process or doesn't know how to prospect leads properly, that's okay, right? In the next few weeks, we'll also start sharing some of our helpful resources in that regard. Or you can reach out to me anytime and we could talk about it. And then the second part is a sales enablement component, right? So it's being able to empower your sales reps to sell better, right? To sell more empathetically. And you can do this by using pre-approved email templates, by updating some of your current presentations, especially now where you might have new services or new features or new payment terms, etc. And of course, a really good following up system, right? Having a means of looking at your prospects again and seeing who have we engaged with and who we have not engaged with is really good. And you'll find out that you actually miss quite a number of prospects just because you don't follow up with them properly. Now, for e-commerce businesses, right? So let's talk a little bit about inbound ads, or what inbound has to do with your pay-per-click advertising. So a great inbound ads campaign has two things, right? Two campaigns running simultaneously. The first campaign is what I like to call a prospecting campaign. So it's a Facebook or Google Ads campaign that seeks out interested audiences, not just anyone you can message or kind of reach out to, right? So this is the number one mistake that I see with many business owners who try to run Facebook ads or Google ads for the first time, right? They think that everyone is their customer, so they have to target their ads to everyone, which is not the truth. Which is not the truth. Yeah. Not everyone is our prospect or can be a good prospect for us, and not everyone is a potential customer. And knowing just that, kind of forces you to really be crafty with how you reach out to these prospects in the first place, right? So you have to have a campaign that just does that. That does just that. Sorry. You have to have a campaign that's only objective is to prospect and look for the kinds of audiences that resonate with your product or service. The second kind of campaign is a retargeting campaign. So I really like the kind of thinking where on average it takes you about 7 to 13 engagements online to really get a customer to do something that you want them to do, right? So if you look at your own purchasing behavior, your own researching behavior, you're going to realize that you take a lot of these steps. You engage with a prospective brand multiple times before you take any significant action. And how brands are able to lure you back in is through retargeting campaigns. So it's basically a follow-up Facebook or Google Ads campaign that reaches out to warmer audiences. Again, you're not just trying to reach out to customers who have money, right? Or people who want to try your business. You want people who are ready to buy, right? Who have gone through your inbound process and you've made them realize that, oh, okay, I see what they're trying to do. I want to be able to try this product, right? And retargeting campaigns allow you to do that. Now, here are some other business activities, right, or business strategies that you can do these next few months to help you cope, right? So I've gotten this information from people that I've interviewed, right? So from reading some of these reports that other, again, big companies are sharing, and I kind of compiled them all into a really, admittedly simple set of slides. Okay, so it's just a macro perspective of the things that you could do, and how you implement them. Of course, it's going to depend on your business and your resources. So for the first month, right, what you have to do is review the status of your current customers and look at what you can do today to remove some of the pressure on them. Right, so I like how, for example, some utilities companies, like your phone bill and your electric bill, and in my case, my rent for my apartment, they reached out. They asked if how I was doing, and they offered more generous ways to pay them for the services that I consume during this time. Right, so I really appreciated that, and I'm pretty sure your customers will appreciate that as well. Second, pin down the pain points of your customers. How will your customers be coping these next few months, right? What are their new fears? This goes back to my first recommendation earlier, where you kind of have to redo your customer personas and redefine how this pandemic is going to affect buyers' journeys. Buyers' journeys during this time. And then lastly, you ask yourself, how can your industry start servicing customers again? Now, I recognize that not all industries will be able to service customers again. Some businesses will have to wait a little bit longer than others. But again, now is a really good time to ask yourself how you're going to be servicing clients or customers during the new normal when your industry is allowed to operate again. Second, so short-term impact activities, 2 to 3 month window. So this is like a quarter. Ask yourself, what smaller, low-risk products can you offer, right? What partnerships can you make? So, for example, for us, we've created rather smaller packages and smaller retainers for some of our prospects, and that's what we're kind of working on now. And we're also partnering up with other agencies to deliver work for their clients, so that's really nice. Second, jumpstart your social media presence, right? I mentioned earlier, now is a great time to do that blog, to post it on social media. And the easiest way to do that is just simply writing your predictions for the remainder of the year. Again, right? Because you're in a certain industry, you're an expert, and people will listen to you because you operate in that industry. So it's really going to be helpful if you share with your colleagues and your customers some of the thoughts that you have about these next few weeks or months, rather. And then lastly, of course, build up your blogging and your email capacities. If you hadn't done this before, that's okay. You have an opportunity now to do that and to start creating that blog and to start creating your email marketing channels. And then some of the game-changing things for you, right? So this is like a 4 to 6 month window. It's really just two things. If you can afford to wait it out, right? If you're in a position where you can afford to be patient, right? You can afford to, just take a cut of your sales, just a little bit. You can focus on rebuilding your marketing and sales foundations, right? Focus on innovating and doing things that you've never done before. This pandemic has forced us to all work from home, and for many businesses, they realize that it does work, right? And I'm really confident that looking at what you can do again for your marketing and sales is going to be beneficial for you and your business in the long run. So if you can afford to wait, then focus on rebuilding. Now, if you can't afford to wait, right? If you are in a tricky situation or if your industry doesn't look like it's going to recover anytime soon, it might be beneficial for you to start exploring different ways to do business. Now, it's very difficult to accept that, right? It's very difficult to say. I personally know some business owners that are not going to be operating even when restrictions are eased. But what I admired about them is that they are looking for ways to kind of redo their business, right? Look at other related products and services or venture out in other places entirely, right? So if you can't afford to wait, if you are really dipping into your sales and you're really tight for resources right now, it would actually benefit you to start exploring, right? And instead of just waiting on a sinking ship. So that's the end of my presentation. I want to be able to share this quote just to end, and I really like it. I've really internalized this in many difficult times in my life. It's very powerful. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. For many of us, this pandemic is rock bottom. I personally testify to that. I can tell you with the utmost confidence that these last few months have been the most difficult stretch in my personal and professional life. But even after going through what I went through these last few months, I am undeterred. In fact, I am more optimistic than ever, and I am more committed to getting myself out of this rut and moving forward. So thank you again for your time. If there's anything that we could do for you, please send us a woof. There's our email down below. You can visit our website, look at our other resources, and of course, you're free to download the bounce back blueprint that we had prepared for you, and it's on the link that I am attaching to this presentation. Thank you and take care.